and welcome to this week's episode of the WrestleSlam podcast. It is, of course, the only place for your news, reviews, booze, and for this week's giggle, Wendy Choo. But a fabulous match with Lego against Tiffany Stratton on NXT. Gentlemen, how are we?
All good.
Everything good?
Yep.
All healthy, wise, and smiling and raring to go.
Exactly. All good.
I'm just on the line to go on my holidays, so I'm in a good mood.
Oh, nothing like that holiday buzz, Matt, waiting to go, huh?
One more day. So let's get to it.
Where are you off to?
I am going to Amsterdam.
Ooh, very nice. Very nice. Say hello to the tulips from us.
I will say hello to any tulip I see for you now, Liz. Don't
Excellent. Oh, thanks, Matt. That
Are
means a lot.
Are you going to see the windmills and the tulips, or are you going to see something else?
Yeah, be careful of any windows you're looking in.
I'm just gonna be honest. I'm gonna see the windmills, definitely. If I'm on the budget.
Excellent. Guys, lots happening in the world of wrestling. Super exciting times. Lots of rumors, scandals, all sorts going on behind the scenes. But we have to say a huge shift in the right and very positive direction for WWE. I think we can all kind of be in agreement with that it has undergone such a huge overhaul over the last month. Surely it has to do with, of course, the appointment of Triple H. He's obviously, making big moves behind the scenes. There's a really, really positive vibe surrounding WWE at the moment. I don't know about you, but I am so excited for upcoming NXT pay-per-views, premium live events, whichever they'll go as going forward, and also the Clash of the Castle. There's just such a great buzz that we haven't felt for so long in WWE, and it's exciting, it's fresh, it's new, and we kind of feel like people who are maybe a little bit hard done by are really, really getting what they deserve and the chance that they kind of really, really missed out on first time round. So it's so great to see. With that, lots of news, as I said, coming out in the world of wrestling from all promotions, but there is a lot coming from WWE. Obviously, last week, a lot of releases took place from NXT UK with the news that we were going forward to have NXT Europe. So hopefully a lot of those guys will be picked up again for NXT Europe. And
LJ Clary
might pick as well. Absolutely, Phil might pick as well. So if you are listening, WWE, get your eyes if they haven't been already. He was over NXT UK recently on LJ Clary, homegrown talent and absolutely gifted. Banger of a match recently as well.
So LJ Clary is I saw at Comic-Con, he is definitely worthy. He lifted up Thor's Mjolnir like it was nothing. So I was there witnessing, so it was indeed worthy.
There you go, strength and presence. But yeah, it would be really, really great to see some of the NXT UK guys picked up again, don't you think?
Definitely.
I think 80% of them have a good chance of coming back, all right.
Well, they called it NXT Europe. It's not NXT Brexit, so it's not like they're breaking away, and the British talent are going to be part of it, so it's all going to be one big thing. So they're obviously going to scour the whole of Europe for more talent.
I wonder, will it be held in the Midlands, like Germany or somewhere?
I think they can go all over Europe. Really,
I think they can tour. I think it's a great way to tour.
They really do.
Yeah,
they really do need to.
Well, why don't they just say OTT now, just be under the WWE and British WWE show? You know what I mean?
I think there's going to be a lot of crossover.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a huge amount of crossover. And you know what? I don't care what they say about the rest of European wrestling. Ireland has some of the most unbelievable talent in the wrestling pool in the whole of Europe, if not the world. Unbelievable. So we're great to see some of our guys get picked up as well and given the opportunity that they so desperately deserve and have earned from day one. So yeah, speaking of re-signed as well, rumours are afoot and rumours are swirling that a favourite of NXT past may be coming back as well in the form of Branson Reed. Definitely dropped when he was hot.
Oh yeah, I don't get what happened. Nobody seems to know.
No idea. Never heard.
Yes.
I don't think he actually talked about it in the interviews today. Why or what happened backstage or what was going on.
Yeah, I know. He's had visa issues because he's left Is it 90 days past
Uh,
when you're in trouble with
he-
business?
I don't think it was that because he was on. I think he did a couple of episodes of Main Event. He came up and they tried him out to, and I don't know whether it's Pritchard or Vince or just whoever was watching his matches on Main Event just didn't like what he was doing, and that was it. Because he was North American champion in a couple of episodes of Main Event. He had the title with him, and they just didn't go with it.
Yeah, strange.
But you know what? A lot of light has been shone, a lot of focus has been put on other titles and made them feel valuable once again and made them feel credible. So maybe that's going to happen with that title as well. Who knows? But we'd love to see him back for sure. As well, former Impact star Tennille Dashwood, rumours flying about Tennille as well, because her Impact contract expired last month and has not been renewed. So again, maybe give a fair chance or a fair bite of the apple, a fair crack of the whip as well on the main roster after the Emma Emelina disaster. It would be great to give Tennille Dashwood an opportunity because she's a super, super talented wrestler as well. How would you guys feel about seeing Tennille Dashwood back in WWE?
She's definitely talented. I definitely would like to see her given a fair go. And doing something. It's just I think we need a women's show at this point.
Yeah, I want to see Evolution back, if I'm honest.
Yeah. On a Tuesday night or something, or a Wednesday night. I
think even going forward at Raw, like the way that Raw this week, like they opened up obviously with Riddle and Seth kicking off with the brawl, like, but then the women took over most of the first hour.
Yeah.
You know, it would break up Raw being a 3-hour show, where if you either have the first hour or the last hour, like different weeks, like where it's solely female talent and female matches and stuff, because Triple H was always big into that and NXT. So and now he's got his NXT batch and the next batch and the next batch, and they're all coming together now, and there's a lot of talent in that roster that could fill up an hour easily.
Yeah,
that's another thing, because you were speaking of Tennille, but Donna was telling Jerry Reed, he wasn't. Deanna was saying recently that her contract's coming up.
Maybe another person who could have deserved another more fair crack of the whip.
That's what I'm saying. But what happens then with all these returns? Do you get overcrowded?
Well, it depends, because I mean, how many, we've seen what's happening in AEW. There's a lot of returns, a lot of these fresh faces. There's a really, really great pop, and people are really, really happy to see them. But now they're getting lost because there's a little bit of one-upmanship, and it's like, oh, we've got them, but now it's the kind of like, yeah, but you've got our favorites, but what's happening? I'm watching, and absolutely nothing against him, but I'm watching Jon Moxley again on a Wednesday night bleeding. Do you know what I mean? It's just kind of like, where's everybody else? What's going on? What's happening? Why aren't I caring about my favorites anymore?
That could happen in WWE in 6 months' time.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say, Ruby Soho actually had an interview recently where she said her career peaked at Double or Nothing. Like, so it's like she made her debut at Double or Nothing for AEW, and that's just, and she said it herself, like that's where it peaked, and it's she was it. Like Tony Khan was all about her when he signed her.
Yeah.
So you never see her anymore. She does backstage bits with Kingston, and that's about it.
And she's like just standing around. I can't recall her actually saying a single word next to Kingston.
How could you? Kingston, his promos are on fire. Like, so we love Eddie Kingston.
Yeah.
And we love Ruby Soho. We just want her to be on TV more.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know, is it like, I don't know, maybe she doesn't feel comfortable there. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people there that she doesn't really know as well. Let's put it that way.
Does Can need help?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's nothing against him. Do you know what I mean? Because, of course we enjoy watching every product, but at the moment Hunter has a lifetime experience in this business. He's married to one of the biggest brains in the business, and so he has experience coming out of his ears. And how many years he had NXT before any of the talent went anywhere? He has nurtured them. He knows how to grow them, how to grow their characters, and how for them to be shown on a really, really high platform without injuring themselves, I suppose. They don't need to bleed everywhere because their talent shines.
Plus
They
have two shows, SmackDown and Raw, where AEW have Rampage, but it's not a separate show. It's the talent from either brand, where they can split up Raw and SmackDown completely, even though they're intertwining sometimes. They still can put half their talent there, and they're still going to get over 2 million views or whatever they're getting weekly.
Like, but there's definitely something to this unhappiness.
For sure.
Absolutely.
As you say that there, Phil, apparently, like, it's the news coming in just before the podcast that there is a mandatory meeting backstage at AEW tonight as well, prior to the show, to kind of, I suppose, address uneasiness, address rumors, unhappiness, contracts and things like that. I'd imagine there's going to be something like that. Yeah. I think it's needed. What do you think?
I think, I'm not going to say that this will happen anytime soon, but I feel like Tony Khan will end up just cracking under pressure, because outside of AEW, he's like what? He's like one of the co-coaches with the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's like a co-stockbroker. He's like producing a couple of shows. It's like this isn't like, just harmless multitasking. This is like legit proper business. Like, so I feel like with AEW, I feel like he's just gonna toss stuff at the wall and maybe like fans will react to this and this and this. So maybe that with this meeting will do well, but I feel like Tony needs proper support. It's like what Liz said. It's like
I just don't know who. I just don't know who you could help. Who could go in there?
I know he's got like he needs a go-between.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He really, really does need a go-between. Who it could be. I mean, obviously William Regal now is in more of a managerial role. Do you know what I mean? But I'm sure he's probably doing a few bits behind the scenes as well. But I'd imagine he's offering advice out of the goodness of his heart. I can't imagine he is a paid employee of, talent management or relations or VP or anything like that, who's doing, like, do you remember, like, obviously when Cody and Brandy were there, Brandy was like their brand officer. You don't see an awful lot in AEW in the press outside of wrestling.
No.
So there's kind of no growing of the brand either.
Kenny Omega's contract coming up in 6 months. If he leaves that company, they're for big trouble.
Oh yeah, could you imagine turning up in WWE?
That's, I mean, but in general, like, they're in big trouble.
Yeah.
I don't see it happening, but never say never.
Well, there you go. Many of us.
What they do need is, I know they burnt their bridges with Eric Bischoff, but they need a brain like Eric Bischoff to run a promotion. Not to say he's the person for the job, but him or Vince Russo or somebody out there who's got some sort of experience, whether you like them or not. Like, they have been there and they know what they're doing. Like,
just to get something going and get eyeballs back on your products.
But you forget that Tony Khan isn't a wrestling promoter. He's a son of a billionaire who was bought.
He's a fan.
He's a fan, exactly. Like, he's not a wrestling promoter. He's a fan who happens to be a billionaire.
Yeah.
And like Matt said, he has a lot of eggs, and he's
juggling a lot.
He's Fulham FC, who are in the Premier League now, who used to sort out all their transfers before the transfer window closes. The football season will be coming back soon enough, and they're fighting with Warner Media. In October, all our episodes of Dynamite are going to be moved to Tuesday night because of the new seasons that are starting up. They're not going to, if they get moved on to a Tuesday night again, they're going to end up losing that spot, and Warner are just going to like, sure, you might as well just stay there now because we've got somebody else coming in on a Wednesday or some shit like that. Yeah. So, he needs a wrestling brain to help him out run that show where he can, there's the money, there's the creative freedom, let you run the show and let him fucking just fund it or whatever.
Well, be the Vince McMahon, just be the decision maker.
Exactly.
You run it by him.
Exactly.
You say, this is what the plan is. This is what we're going to hopefully move forward. Now, look, maybe the seeds are planted behind the scenes, and maybe that's going to be covered in this evening's meeting. Maybe that's what they're going to chat about. But the talent's there, the money's there, the character building is there, but there's nobody to marry it all together. You can't make decisions based on each individual wrestler. You can't, because there has to be fluidity, there has to be continuity, and you have to build their characters and their stories more, and that's just kind of lacking there at the moment. I couldn't tell you about Britt Baker's feud. Go back 6 months, a year, and I could have told you what size shoes she wearing.
Like,
you know what I mean?
Don't get me started on Wardlow.
Right?
Yeah.
What happened there?
No.
So anyway, let's see what comes of this evening's meeting. I'm sure we'll hear more of it before the night is out.
Just one last thing about it, right? If he had any kind of, I suppose I don't want to say curse, but if he had any kind of nuts or balls, Moxley would win today.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that now, Phil, because the match that's happening with CM Punk and John Moxley apparently was John Moxley's idea.
Okay.
For Dynamite.
for Dynamite. Apparently it was. So interesting. While we're on the subject, Matt, how do you think that match is going to go?
I personally feel like I can see Moxley winning. I said this on the podcast a while back. I feel like Kenny and Moxley is kind of like the proper face of AEW. They know how to get people invested. I know that Moxley wasn't really booked properly with the title, but at least he has the title with him and he knows exactly how to use it. So I feel like if Moxley wins, it would be a big one because we all thought that Punk's going to win. He's going to get back the title and Moxley's going to go back competing with New Japan or defend the Game Changer Championship against Nick Cage finally. But I'm going to vote for Moxley on this one just to beat everyone's expectation of Punk winning.
Yeah, absolutely, Phil.
Yeah, I want him to win, but he won't win. CM Punk will win.
Yeah, he's... So where do you think it's going to be, Moxley?
I think there's a very rare occasion there's going to be a
I was just going to say
false finish because they have no main event for All Out. And
MJF is
MJF is coming back, whether he gets involved and he gets added in a triple threat match for All Out. That's a main event, you'd want to see, and MJF should win that match then.
Yeah.
He's back. I know he doesn't, in the rankings, he shouldn't be getting a title shot, but if he comes back and costs them this match and it's ends up being a triple threat, then I'm all in for that.
If people hate Tony Khan so much, why don't he just be on TV and just get him beat up or whatever?
Imagine the fucking heat he's going to get now to come back and take the title off both of them.
Yeah. And that's how it should be.
Exactly.
Absolutely how it should be. And to be honest with you, if it's not MJF, I don't know what they're going to do.
They don't do DQs. They don't do them.
They don't what?
They don't do DQ finishes. They just don't do them.
It doesn't have to be a DQ. It could be a non-finish. You just take out both of them and nobody gets disqualified. It's just no contest.
Big Show should come down and knock on both.
Yeah, there you go. There you are. You're talking, Finn.
Big Show heel turn and a face turn on the same show.
Definitely. And then a forward roll and a bit of everything for Big Show. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. But if it's interesting that if it is MJF, if he does cause it and then it ends up in a triple threat for All Out, it's kind of weird that the reason people will be watching it is in the hope that MJF will be winning, not that John Moxley's in the ring with CM Punk.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, cool. Moving on from that, guys, so that was the AEW one. Back to very, very soon approaching Clash of the Castle in Cardiff. Very excited for this. Myself and himself will be in attendance. So What's occurring? All right, Stace. So we'll be very hoarse in the podcast the week after that because we'll be absolutely roaring the place down, which is going to be fab. And you leave my straps there. I need them for work. You can have your own. So with that, news came out as well today that Undertaker has added a second show earlier in the day due to phenom demand. Yes! Due to phenomenal demand. But I mean, Jerry said it earlier. I'm not being funny, lads. He could have 10 shows and he'll sell them all out.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. Even at those ridiculously high prices.
Oh, mate, if I had the bobs, I'd be there.
Our flights, we were supposed to fly on the Friday morning at 6 o'clock. Yeah. And for some reason, they changed the flights till 2 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that. So
our
now
flight
we're
was cancelled.
Almost the first Undertaker show. And we wouldn't have been in Cardiff in time because we're flying into Bristol. We have to get a bus to Cardiff, check in the hotel. And by the time we're in Cardiff City Centre, the meet and greets will be all over and the show will already started. So,
and the thing is, you couldn't do another day because the hotel prices are gone.
We
booked the flights and hotel when it was just announced. So
I'm not being funny. Anywhere we go, we run into someone unexpectedly. Yeah. I swear to God, you will fall into a pile of shit and come out and smell the flowers. It's just the way you are, honestly. And I'm glad to tag along, love. I'll smell like flowers too. I'm glad to tag along. So I'm sure we'll meet someone on the way. So yeah, second show, which is amazing. Hopefully that will open up doors maybe for Inside the Ropes or someone else to bring him over here properly and do a proper tour the right way this time. Yeah. So we'll crack straight into Raw last night. Lads, isn't it weird that Raw is so enjoyable?
It's nice to see it structured and have a plan.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Did you manage to catch some highlights of Raw match or the show itself?
I got to catch a good bit of highlights. So yeah, I was just gonna say this now as well. I was like, Raw was actually good. Raw was good. And I was like, that's weird to say out loud, but it was the truth. Raw was actually real. Like just like
Good job.
3 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 weeks in a row. We have the hat trick of good Raws.
Yeah.
Do you know what it's like? It's like if somebody, spends 10 years in prison for a crime they didn't commit. And that 10 years is the last couple of years you've been watching Raw and suffering, and you finally get your name cleared, and it's a relief. And you're like, there it is. I'm finally free. I can watch Raw again. That's what it's like. That feeling.
That's an absolutely fabulous comparison.
Not that I've ever been to prison for a crime I didn't commit.
Only the one you did.
We'll find out. But either way, there's one person we need to thank. I won't mention his name, but let's just say he rhymes with Flipple H.
Oh my God, Phil. Unbelievable though. It's just such a joy to watch. It really is. I haven't been invested in Raw in so long, but oh my God, unbelievable. Johnny Wrestling has made his main roster re-debut after the last time, which shall not be discussed any further. And he gave Austin Theory a nice super kick instead of the high five. So tell us.
I don't know.
How are you feeling about Johnny Wrestling on Raw?
I don't want to be the negative person.
Oh, here we go. Here's Phil now. Phil's in a fucking mood. Here we go.
With that sort of thing.
It's just like, I don't think people knew who he was when he came out. I don't want to be like, the pop wasn't as loud as it should have been.
It's
I liked it.
I suppose, maybe it's Toronto. Yeah, maybe
But it was great to see him, and I'm delighted for him.
He's a pure WWE OG, do you know, our NXT OG. So I can see him being the next Seth Rollins. Do you know what I mean? Face, and you throw him in anywhere and he'll draw. You know.
It was good to see him. Like now that Phil mentioned, I think a lot of people didn't know who Johnny Gargano.
Yeah, there was if you look at the crowd, you will see there was a few people who knew him, but there's a lot of pauses.
No.
Yeah, because there was a complete shock. I don't think nobody, none of the fucking dirt sheets, nobody knew he was coming back at all whatsoever. And he had to go through fucking 2 or 3 airports to get to Toronto. I don't know if he got a direct flight from Orlando or wherever. So he had to go through a few airports and nobody spotted him. So fair fucks to WWE for actually having a surprise because there was no rumors whatsoever.
And,
been on the jet.
Apparently, everyone backstage didn't know Johnny Gargano was making a return
Nobody.
till they saw him go.
Yeah, how nice is that?
Nobody. That's for me. It was such a surprise. Because nobody backstage knew. That's how it didn't get out to the dirt sheets. Because there is people who, by the way, guess who's backstage?
That's nice. I like that.
Personally, for me, I think I'm with Phil. Was a lot of people didn't know who he was, but I was delighted to see Johnny Gargano back. I'm not gonna fancy book he's gonna have a match with Ciampa, he's gonna do a match with Theory and whatnot, just like his time in NXT. I feel him that he will go after the mid card. I think he should have said that he wants to start off from the bottom on the main roster, start from the mid card, then build his way up.
Good idea. That's his good plan.
Yeah. So
show what he could do.
Yeah. I'd like to see DIY back. I can see the Miz turning on Ciampa. I can see the Miz turning on Ciampa and Johnny Wrestling makes the save.
Well, the Miz is on the missing list. Somebody kidnapped them.
They did. Sexy Dexy. Woo! Isn't that what she called him? Oh my God, lads, right? Total tangent now from what I was going to say next, but I don't even fucking care, right? Because Dexter Loomis is back to his old freaky, fucking creepy, weirdo, amazing self. He's back and I'm just so happy. An Index on NXT, I can't even deal. I just can't deal. I'm just go and kidnap someone.
I was gonna mention that I saw that NXT when I saw them back together. I was like, oh, somewhere Liz Rush is having a ball.
Oh mate, high kicking.
We were sitting in the car. I said the gym this morning at 6:00.
Yeah,
and we were watching them.
I was like, oh my God, and he gave her a picture. I swear to God, if he doesn't bring her up to the main roster and the two can go around like the biggest freaks that they are, I'd be so disappointed because we need them on the main roster. We need all the freaks. Yeah. But there was somebody else with a hood up who tried to take out AJ Styles. So is Dexter Lumis rocking up with a faction?
Don't know.
Do you know what I mean?
It's hard to know. You couldn't see who it was.
I know who it is.
Somebody with a man bun.
It's obviously DDP. He's back to his old stalking gimmick.
He's up to it. He's stalking.
He was stalking the Undertaker's wife at fucking Ric Flair's last match. He was sitting behind him.
You leave DDP alone. You just leave DDP alone. He's a god.
No,
hey, that's not a bad thing.
That's a good thing.
Every time I do the DDPY yoga, I'm like, oh, that was a good workout. Hard to believe he tried to stalk the Undertaker's wife. No one's gonna remember that. But anyway.
I can tell you now, man, that's not the first thing I'm thinking when that fucking workout's over is Jesus Christ, is it over? Yeah, fab. So delighted to see Dexter Lumis back and Index. And I think with Indy Hartman's speech, she could be main roster bound as well, which is fabulous. Of course, as we said, Raw came from Canada, which of course brought out some of the Canadian greats. So there was a nice little talk the talk, shoot the shit with Trish Stratus and Bailey and Dakota Kai and Io Sky. There we go. We'll get it right. And of course, then Trish came out. Trish had some assistance on the mic from Bianca Belair, who came out, who I thought spoke really, really well. Oh, no. Super well. And then, of course, out came Asuka and Alexa Bliss. So, of course, Trish Stratus is going to make an appearance.
Oh, yeah. Is that actually Kurt Angle is on next week? So,
yeah.
I'm wondering if that's going to be a new thing they're going to try.
Why not?
Yeah. Absolutely. I'd love to see Kurt Angle back as GM. I loved him as GM. Loved him.
Yeah, speaking of Kurt Angle, do you guys remember when I wore the cowboy hats with Kurt Angle?
We sure do, Matt. We sure do. That's WrestleSlam history there, that is.
Just it has nothing to do with the podcast this episode, but I just want to randomly bring it up for good old time's sake.
I think it's essential. Nothing wrong with that, Matt. Nothing wrong with it.
You had a lot in common. You both have smooth heads, whether you have smooth balls.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the sponsor of this week's episode, Manscaped. As usual, you get 20% off and free shipping with the code WrestleSlam. Type it in; it'll be in the description below. Go on the Manscaped website, look for the 4.0 package. Type in the code WrestleSlam. 20% off, free shipping. Go do it now.
Yeah, I've used the code. I got it for Jerry. I got it, and unbelievable. Hands up for the ball deodorant, unbelievable. So as Jerry said, get on it, 20% off plus free shipping with the code WrestleSlam. That's WR. Just one R.
Spell.
So that's this evening's sponsor for our podcast. So going on from that then, Dakota Kai and Io Sky actually are in the finals of the women's tag team tournament after defeating Asuka and Alexa Bliss with a bit of shenanigans with the tag at the end.
Is this on the pay-per-view or is it on Raw? Raw.
Because isn't next is it Friday is the
Friday's the
second chance. Yeah. Because Friday we got the second chance semi-final due to injury for Gigi Dolan for Toxic Attraction. So there's going to be a second chance one. So I presume it's going to be Raw.
It has to be because Bailey and the two girls are fighting in a six-woman tag match against Bianca and the other two. So it doesn't make any sense.
I presume it will be anyway. Yeah.
I'd say that they'll win it as Dave Bailey's group.
Oh, they should do, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think they need to tighten because they would just need to up the heelishness. Do you know what I mean? Definitely. The only way to do that is put a title on them when you despise them, especially if they're going to beat some of your favorites.
And then let Bailey beat Bianca.
What? Child, you better wash your mouth out.
Give them all the titles.
Oh no, you girl. I don't fucking think so. Bianca's finally getting her stride. Leave her alone. So, moving on from that then, guys, we had a little match. Again, Canada's own Edge taking on Damian Priest.
Nice match.
I think so too. Yeah, wasn't it? And how are we feeling about Judgment Day?
Better.
Better than it was, but it's not. It's still
But better than whatever they were, like, so
Yeah.
he's better than whatever they were doing before.
But in saying that, Vince McMahon's definitely gone because he'd never do a match like this. He would never do a 6-man like this.
Not even that. The hometown person never wins at hometown.
Yes. That is true. Nice surprise at the end. Beth coming out, standing by her man. What do you make of this? Nice way to set up that 6-person tag if that's going to happen.
I think it's great. Yeah, love it. I really like Beth. She was another one who kind of came in at just the wrong time. In 2000.
Yeah, she should have been brilliant in this generation. Yeah.
Oh my God.
She was brilliant. She was brilliant when she was there, like when she was full time. Like
she was groundbreaking.
You know, she was unbelievable. Like,
I'd love to see her give another run. I think she would just, because she has it all. She has the strength, she has the stamina. She looks phenomenal. She really, really does, and can run rings around half of them girls in the ring.
She can still go. You saw
absolutely
before he came back when she was in the ring with Dash. Was it Dash?
Yeah.
They were in training him. They come back like so. Like she can go. She's
amazing. What a woman! Like, and just fiercely talented. So yeah, let's give Beth another run. I want to see Beth with the other one. But
Edge announcing next year.
Yeah, apparently so, next August. Do you think that's it, guys?
I think he'd become a trainer or a commentator, surely.
Yeah.
Would he be good in NXT?
He could, very well. Like, he could be an authority figure, no problem.
I think so too. GM.
I was going to say that as well. It's like, I can see him going to NXT, but as the general manager, that would be an unreal role for him. Because
the William Regal role.
Yeah. He said while he was retired, he admits that he watched more of NXT than the actual main roster. Nobody's getting himself into. I don't want to see him retiring, but if it's he did have an unreal career that he needs to be proud of, and he came back to the Royal Rumble. False rumor that was just something that he'd be proud of. So, but personally, I don't want to see him go because I like his run at the moment against Judgment Day. But if he wants to move on, so be it. That sounds bad, but if he's retiring,
this time he'll get to retire on his own merit. Like he'll retire when he says so, not when an injury happens. Hopefully, between now and then he doesn't pick up any injury. So I'm just dying to see.
I'd love to see him in a WrestleMania match for sure.
Oh yeah, as long as he's not injured by WrestleMania, I can see him having a big match there. I'm not sure.
Brock Lesnar.
Let's see who comes in the Royal Rumble and costs in the Rumble.
Yeah,
that normally sets up quite a few matches. Oh, I'm so excited for the Royal Rumble this next year, and it's not even here yet, and I don't care.
I'm actually excited. I'm actually going to be excited for Survivor Series this year because there may be a War Games at it.
Don't know, because I lose my shite altogether.
Yeah, they're teasing it already.
Yeah, isn't it fab though? Like, when's the last time we've been this excited about WWE?
If they're going to do a War Game, do you think they're going to bring William Regal back just to say War Games? Just for that one?
They could bring his son up from NXT though, because he made his debut there last night.
He did. So said Charlie Dempsey?
Charlie Dempsey.
So very, very interested to see where that goes. But yeah, like, what a week. It's been fabulous. Definitely the next few weeks are the weeks to watch. I think there's so much going on, isn't there? Still no signs of Bray Wyatt making a move.
I reckon they should hold off until after the War Games match.
You said it correctly. Has to be the right time, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You can't just bring it back willy-nilly. And that's where I think sometimes AEW made a few mistakes, because we had this onslaught of new talent. And it wasn't specifically at the right time for some of them. Some of them were, but so maybe that could be something. Go on, Matt?
I felt with Bray Wyatt was, I know that you're going to say, Matt, it was Dexter Lumis who, but the hand in the background with when Austin. Everyone thinks, that's obviously Dexter Lumis. What Triple H loves doing, that we all probably noticed, he loves tricking us.
Yeah.
He loves doing false finishes and shows, but the match keeps going. I think that was a tease of Bray Wyatt, making us think, it's Dexter Lumis, but no, it's going to keep happening.
Speaking of that hand thing, there was another thing on NXT with a picture. Was it NXT or was it Raw?
I think it was on NXT.
There was I think one of the lads were holding a picture of someone. You could barely see it, but it definitely meant something.
Ooh, so they're leaving Easter eggs. We need to keep the eyes peeled. So this week in SmackDown for more Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Sure we do. Yeah. Come here to me.
If Bray Wyatt does come back, all we have to do is let him in.
Yeah.
That's all we have to do, Matt. Make sure the door's unlocked and let him in. And keep him away from Seth Rollins.
Make sure Vince's door is locked and don't let him out.
Bolted. Tell me as well, before we finish up, there was also a departure from NXT. Yeah. A very, very happy departure from NXT. Santos Escobar looks very, very happy to be leaving NXT. Surely him and the crew, La Familia, are heading to the main roster.
Oh yeah, 1000%.
Right?
I love it if you with the bloodline, but it's not going to happen.
I'd say maybe give it time, because do you know what? Like, it'll be nice. It actually would be nice to see them up against another faction, and it would be nice to see them as well in singles competition, you know. But I'd like that against the bloodline. I think that's fab. I think that's a really good call, Phil.
It's like you put
tag team.
How's that?
They need more tag teams, so get them on there.
Yeah. Does Triple H take your calls, Phil? Could you tell him about that, please?
Put Naomi with the bloodline and you have your 8-man tag, so.
Oh, you need Naomi with the bloodline. It should have been done so long ago.
That's something else, yeah. They haven't mentioned Sasha and Naomi yet.
They haven't, no, but I think they're probably cool in that, because there is no doubt they're going to make an appearance at this tournament.
They're so coming out after the tournament's over to say they're still champions.
So does that set that on? Look at the bitches gossiping. Look at the bitches gossiping. So does that mean that it's on Monday Night Raw we find out who the tag team champions are, and then afterwards the girls are going to come out and we're going to get the match at Clash of the Castle for who is the true tag champions?
Maybe, yeah.
And maybe Io and Dakota don't win them because they already have a match at Clash of the Castle.
Girl, oh no, you didn't.
Oh, there's just so much layers to things these days.
Right? Isn't it great? And it's so great to be able to speculate and not say, we'll see what happens, because we actually don't know what's going on. So how nice is it now to say, going, this could happen, and you can actually realistically fantasy book.
And I just just speaking of fantasy booking real quick there, the Good Brothers are gone from Impact Wrestling. So
is it official? Are they finished?
I think this weekend they're going to lose the belts on one of the tapings.
They've already happened, have they?
No, they're not this weekend, I think.
They're taping them this weekend, okay.
Yeah, no.
Will we ever see them grace the door?
Also, Aussie Open are going to be on Impact as well.
Yeah. They're actually on Dynamite tonight as well.
Yeah.
And speaking of Aussie Open, it's a shame. I know it had to be done sometime, but it's a shame that Will Ospreay lost that belt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Maybe for a reason, though.
It could be.
Very, very true.
NXT Europe.
Well, look, you don't know.
No way.
You don't know.
You just don't know. You know, I mean, I can't even imagine the amount of conversations going on at the moment.
Exactly.
It's so exciting. It's so exciting.
Plus his girlfriend. She's still going. He's still his girlfriend, Pure Priestley.
No, they split up in 2021, because did you see his post recently when he was put up his schedule? He was in Japan and then he was in the UK doing shows. He had a day with his girlfriend and then he was off to the States and back. So I don't know who the new girl is, but they split up in 2021 apparently. That's random. I checked that before I came on the podcast. How weird. But yeah, so I don't know. No.
We're laying down the goss in.
No, it's just because Pure Priestley will be on the Europe, I'm assuming. She will.
She's in the triple threat, isn't she? Yeah, triple threat for NXT.
I don't know, but like she'll be in the European NXT.
I don't know, she might end up staying up in 2.0 or 3.0 or whatever they end up calling the new version of it.
Yeah.
I think leave it NXT just clean.
Yeah. NXT America, NXT Europe.
And
this was Triple H's plan a long time ago. He wanted the global one. He wanted NXT Japan.
Yeah.
NXT Knocknahini.
I suppose the last thing for me is this Worlds. I was shocked that they added a Worlds because I didn't think they would.
Yeah. Sorry to the people who are from Knocknahini watching the show.
Yeah, I remember Triple H wanted to do NXT India as well. So if you want to just
tryouts. Did their WWE? Yeah. Imagine the War Games with NXT States, Europe, India, and Japan. How great would those War Games be?
The problem is, if they're going to set all these things up, they have to make the sets and things look good.
What they need to do first of all is make sure NXT in America travels and doesn't stay inside that fucking place. It can be their home, like, but they need to get out more. They need to travel and have shows other places, because it's just the same thing over and over again, and that it just looks like a rerun of the same show. Like, even though there's different matches, they need different setups.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly.
We love, everyone here loves NXT. You know, we love NXT 2.0. That is one where we need to see what's going to happen, because we need to drop that 2.0 massively, and like they can invade NXT Europe at any time. You know what I mean? Like it's similar to a version of Survivor Series, which we always do. Red alert the week before. It's happening. Kurt Angle. So, you know, like the opportunities are just endless.
I'd love a proper invasion storyline done right.
Oh God, yeah. I think we all would, Phil.
Like,
yeah, I think
that's a 2-year storyline if done right.
Yeah. I think we're all still looking back on like the invasion storyline. To be honest, when I saw the invasion storyline, I didn't care, because I was like 10 at the time. So whatever I liked.
Wow, we just need to give Triple H time. You know, it's new car smell. It's going to be brilliant for a while. Like, so I just hope it doesn't fade away. I hope he just keeps, you know, refreshing it and putting in new fucking stuff and keeping things going, because I want to see what happens with Kevin Owens. I want to see what happens with all these people that weren't getting the chance on the Vince.
How cool was it to see Kevin Owens back with the old Tron and t-shirts?
Everything.
I can't be the only one that got goosebumps when Kevin Owens said it's time to bring back the prize fighter, and I was like, yes.
Yeah.
The prize fighter who Triple H fucking adores.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what, as well, how long has Triple H been sidelined for now, watching what's been going on? So you know that pen and paper was out, mate, and he was taking notes of what he wants to do and where directions he wants to put people in, you know. But yeah, guys, really, really exciting time to be a wrestling fan. Let's enjoy it. Let's embrace it. Let's roll with it. Let's get on for the ride and see what happens. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining us this evening for our WrestleSlam podcast. This week's edition. We'll be back again during the week for a few more updates on, you know yourselves, the usual wrestling shows that we like to give our opinions on. Do not forget, 20% off with the code WrestleSlam. That is 20% off with WrestleSlam, and also free shipping. If you like your balls to be as smooth as Matt's head, then you need to get on to Manscaped with 20% off and free shipping with the code WrestleSlam, the sponsors of this podcast.
Let me give you a round of applause.
We do not recommend you smack your own bollock with your hand to clap somebody. Your head is fine, but just not that head. So 20% off, and you can sound just like our Matt. If you have not subscribed yet on YouTube, what are you doing? Get on it. Get subscribed on YouTube. Interact. Give us a like. Give us a comment. Of course, give us a share. But we do like to interact. We like to see what you're thinking, what you're feeling. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let us know. We'd love to interact with you all. Of course, we're on Twitter at Slam Wrestle. Find us on Insta and also on Facebook too. You can listen to this podcast as well on Spotify and also Google on the commute into work, or what we do. We listen to podcasts when we're in the gym. Throw them on, you won't even see the time passing, and you never know, you might learn something new or some new scandal. That is all for our show. From myself, Sensational Queen Lizzie. From himself, it's Booker G. It's Bad Times. Matt slapped me upside the head and called me Bald Manscaped Murphy. Have an amazing day. And of course, Phil, Triple H will answer your calls, Phil. He will. You need to tell about Santos Escar La Familia up against the Bloodline. Guys, have a fabulous week of wrestling, and we hope to see you all soon. Bye for now.
Toodles.